Igniting, inspiring, and evoking the fire within.
What advice do you have for people who have felt like they have hit rock bottom?
Ask for help. Ask for help. I'm asking for help all the time. And if you hit rock bottom and you can't seem to climb up the rock, ask for help.
You're listening to the What's Your Inspiration podcast with Foxspire.
Danielle Coulter is our guest on episode 42 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. An author of 7 books and the first adaptive snowboarder in the world, Danielle can shred. Born with CP and accompanied by her friend Wynne Kelly Charles, she wants you to stand up for your dreams, whether you have a disability or not. This should be fun. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. Today, 2 special guests on. 1, an author of 7 books and the first adaptive snowboarder in the world. You bet Danielle Coulter can shred. Born with CP, she wants you to stand up and follow your dreams. Does not matter whether you have a disability or not. She's accompanied by her good friend, last episode's guest, Wynne Charles. Danielle, how are you?
Good. You?
Like I always say, like I told Wynne before, I'm better than I deserve. And Wynne, how are you?
I am perfectly fine. I'm excited to do this interview with you and Danielle because I'm going to talk about CP again. And Danielle and I actually do, I don't know if I told you this, Fox, but Danielle and I actually do a podcast together all about CP.
What is it called?
Diary of a Fashionista.
Fashionista,
And
yes.
it's all about CP. After 8 years, thank you very much, we decided to let the cat out of the bag even further and talk about CP and educate the world about CP.
So I'll start off with an open question for either one of you to answer. What role does the word fashionista have in CP?
What? Jeez. Okay, I'll go first. What? Well, I was always the fashionista. I'm actually going back to school to get my journalism degree. I'll be done with that in 2019 to this year, December. And the role of fashionista is, to me, the role of fashionista having to do with CP is when we walk into a room, we look so scary enough that we might as well look beautiful as we walk into the room.
I mathematically, I can understand that. That's a pretty cool way of looking at it. And Danielle, I will turn that question to you. What does fashionista have to do with your CP?
Yeah. So basically, translation, she said, we're struggling every day, so therefore we try and dress well and hide our struggles.
Well, you don't have to hide anything.
Well, yeah, but you would be surprised what we have to hide, Fox. You would be surprised what we have to hide.
I mean, not to be too vulgar about this, but I do have a friend who's lovingly always says, and this has nothing to do with any of us, but he'll kindly rib me sometimes and say, Fox, you must understand that my dad would always tell me you can't dress up a turd, and I would think,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
sometimes. So it kind of makes
Yeah.
me think of that. But I don't think neither one of you has to hide anything. We know from the last podcast how accomplished you are, Win. And then Danielle, from your introduction, the first adaptive snowboarder in the world, which is amazing. So my question for you, Danielle, is out of all the things to do, why snowboarding?
Hey, no, no, guys, tell me a busy game of snowball and a snowball. I do the real life.
Life is a game of snowboarding. Life is kind of like snowboarding. Is that right, Win?
She got a video game and she decided to take her walk on skis to the next level. After playing that video game, she decided, I can do this. And in her book, it says basically she played the video game at one point, and then the next thing we know, her ski instructor and her on inventing snowboards, the system that I actually use on my own snowboard, Danielle actually invented.
Wow. So an inventor, an author, speaker, and inventor, and also, as we know, a caretaker.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. Danielle, what was the name of the video game?
So me.
What's that now in?
SS Turkey,
SS Turkey.
the video game. Now speaking of, I have to Google that video game to see if it's still in existence.
SS Turkey. Wow.
Yeah.
You get inspired by a video game. Why the heck not? So we've answered that, and Win, could you please, if you're watching this podcast on video, Win is now holding up Danielle's book, Dan Can Shred, from the very first adaptive snowboarder in the world, Miss Danielle Coulter. So I'm just gonna sit here and clap for you.
Yeah.
I think we both should at this point. That's just absolutely amazing. And I wanted Win on here as well because not only are you both close friends, but you adaptive snowboard together.
On the occasion,
Yeah.
we try and get out and adapt some snowboard together. Actually, last week we did on Valentine's Day. We got out there and managed to not make fools of ourselves. Because I've been doing this for 17 years, and Danielle's been doing this longer than I have.
You certainly, I think that's amazing. And speaking of making fools of yourselves, I mean, no one has made a bigger fool of themselves than me while skiing. I can't tell you how many wipeouts I had as a young man between the ages of like 12 and 15. So good for you both. And to do it in the state of Colorado, okay? We're not talking about a little puddle jump here. That's some
No,
champagne powder, as my dad would say.
yes, we're not talking about we're not talking about these small ski hills. We're talking about big ones. But we managed to get down them and not make a fool of ourselves, which surprises me every single time I go out with Danielle.
It's amazing. Y'all really just amaze me with that, and to be able to do it together. For anybody watching the podcast or listening to it, you see the picture of both Danielle and Win ready to go on the slope And as Wynn holds up the book, you can see both of you. Is it both of you on the front cover there? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, at the bottom.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, yes. It's both of us.
Amazing. Okay, question. Who is the better skier?
Oh, God. Well, Danielle, I hate to say this, but Danielle is the better snowboarder because although I must say, she's made me a better snowboarder.
Yeah, it's
because
snowboarding, not skiing. Right.
she's been at it longer than I have. So, yeah, she has a lot more experience using the system. I've been at this system since I was 16, and now I'm 30 years old, almost 31 with cerebral palsy. So up until that time, I was skiing. So I had no clue what a snowboard was until the program that we go out with, Challenge Aspen, said to me, we just bought this very expensive Vita bar. Do you want to try it? We need a guinea pig. And of course, I said, okay, I'll try it. And of course, when I came home, I told my dad I loved the new piece of equipment. And the next thing I know, I kind of begged my dad to buy me one. and so he did. And ever since then, I have been loving it, and Danielle's been loving it too. But she's the better snowboarder because she's had more experience with it.
Experience is always the best teacher. So advantage Danielle here with all due respect. Wouldn't you say, Wynn?
Yeah. Yes.
All due respect.
Yes.
Let's get into to see what really makes Danielle tick here. We're going to play a game called What, Which, and Where, all for Danielle here. So Danielle, I'm going to give you a quote from maybe a book that you read or a movie you watched or a famous person that you are really inspired by, and you tell me who said it. Okay?
Hey.
Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Excellent. Just like on top of the ski slope. The first quote goes like this. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is though everything is a miracle. Danielle, who said it? You are absolutely correct. That is the Albert Einstein. So he accomplished miracles, and there's no question that you've accomplished miracles. So it's not a mistake that I use your name and his name in the same sentence. 1 for 1. What do you think of this, Wynn?
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
Tell you what, I don't think we've had, in 41 episodes, we haven't had anyone answer all three correctly. But you are 1 for 1, Danielle. That is the first step. Ready for number 2?
Yeah.
Here we go. A number 2 pencil and a dream can take you anywhere.
So, zero.
It certainly is, Miss Joyce Meyer. So here's my question to you, Danielle. Where has a number 2 pencil taken you?
Okay.
We will be so I use the rock you well that you want to show.
Anywhere you want to go. Win, why are you chuckling over there, Ms. Win?
I'm chuckling because, and the reason why I say a boy is because 2 weeks after my book came out, I Come a Win, Danielle reads the galley copy, or maybe she bought I Come a Win, and the next thing I know, she goes, I want to be an author. And I'm like, okay, you can't even speak, but also put you as a BFF, as the BFF, and give Danielle a mission. She will accomplish that mission. Put her on a mission, and she will accomplish that mission.
No question. Danielle, I mean, you're all about the process. You don't worry about opinions of other people. It's just, with both of you, I think of the compound effect. What you can do with each single step that you take in a day. It's amazing. It's amazing. And with a number 2 pencil.
And with a number 2 pencil.
Okay. Danielle, it all comes down to this. You are 2 for 2 in what, which, and where. Are you nervous?
No.
Not at all. I mean, come on. You ski the slopes in Aspen. Why would you be nervous about this?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Here we go. What, which, and where, number 3 from Ms. Danielle Coulter. It goes like this. There's a different point of view awaiting you if you just look up.
No.
3 for 3. That is indeed Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins. Man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. You are 3 for 3 in what, which, and where. Kudos to you, Miss Danielle.
Hey.
And if I could don a medal on you right now, I would. But since you are in Colorado and I am in New Jersey, I'll have to give you a virtual medal. Do you accept?
Yeah.
Outstanding, outstanding. Let's just check here. Win, are you still with us?
I am,
Okay.
but you guys can still hear me. I'm in the middle of multitasking.
Multitasking here because you're on a tutoring assignment here pretty soon. So
yes, I am.
Thank you so much for joining us. But we'll go to one final question for Danielle on episode 42 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. Again, I think in my recollection, the only guest to go 3 for 3 in what, which, and where. Danielle, the question is this. We know all heroes don't wear a cape, but if you had the opportunity to take a 1-hour car ride with one of the following 3 people, who would it be? Albert Einstein, Joyce Meyer, or Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins.
Well, Mary Poppins. Now, tell us, what makes Mary Poppins a better car ride than Albert Einstein? That's true. I mean, I think that Albert Einstein had a great imagination, but I think Mary Poppins' imagination just trumps anybody. That's a great answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Win, Danielle, this has been a ton of fun. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your space. And just continue to keep doing what you're doing out there in Colorado and around the world. And I sincerely hope that we meet in person sometime very soon.
Well, thank you, Fox, for extending the invitation to me and Danielle. And you guys can check us out on A Diary of a Fashionista, or follow me on Twitter at Win Kelly Charles, and follow Danielle at DanCanThread411 on Twitter, and just keep up with our craziness.
Yeah. Yeah. You.
Thanks is on my end, Danielle. You both are just amazing, and I'm just honored to be able to interview you both today. Again, both Win, Danielle, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You.
Okay, that will wrap up episode 42 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. Danielle, Win, and myself will talk to y'all later. Take good care.
You have been listening to the What's Your Inspiration podcast with Fox Beyer. Because impact on each other is the greatest currency you could ever have.
Side of the road, rusty hitch, just been towed. Keys barely fit into the ignition. Passenger seat, 2-inch incision. Never passed state inspection, but worth any man's affection. Gears that grind, plates that read, mine, mine, mine. Mighty Max, on the highway you've never been. But we have miles of backyard memories. Mighty Max. In the bed, tailgate out, looking ahead and reminiscing. You might cost a bus ticket, you're worth $1 million to me. Mighty Max, on the highway you've never been. But we have miles of backyard memories. Mighty Max. On the side of the road, rusty hitch just been towed. Keys barely fit into the ignition. Passenger seat, 2-inch incision. Never passed state inspection, but worth any man's affection. Gears that grind, plates that read, mine, mine, mine.